So talk to us about climate change, Mark, and just how you see these links. I mean, obviously we don't have necessarily data from this year to extrapolate upon, but we have sort of an idea where things have been going and where they've come from.
I always love to say, I don't believe in climate change. And then of course that freaks everybody out. And I say, well, because belief has no place in science. Science is evidence, period. Or you don't have evidence. That's actually the first line in my book, literally the first line. The thing is, like, the reality is we need about 30 years of data to really be able to extrapolate what's happening. We're getting to that point now with good quality data. I mean, the issue is if you go, really far back, the data is just not that good. We haven't got good instrumentation. I mean, we're finding like 44 tornadoes in Southern Ontario. Yeah, that may seem incredible, but it's most likely a good chunk of that has to do with the fact that we know that they're there. We've got something like the Northern Tornadoes Project, which is going out and examining them using GIS and satellites and blah blah blah. If you go back to the 40s, the 30s and 40s, and you look at the number of hurricanes, well, chances are that there were a lot more hurricanes out there that we just didn't discover. But once we had satellites up, we started to see like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a hurricane there that didn't go near any ships or was small or what have you. So that's like the big thing with climate change is that our evidence is getting better and better. But we still need like 30 years of data to really see what's going on. But having said that, of course, we do have 30, 40 more years of data when it comes to glacier melt and the movement of species north. Like, it's not just a meteorological thing. It's not just meteorology that's able to sort of look at climate change and say, oh, well, this is only limited to meteorology and climatology. Well, it turns out no, it's limited. There's wildlife biology, marine biology, ecology, like all these different things that we can look at that are sort of showing up. We're seeing a northern movement, ranges of animals, north and up, like a certain number of kilometers per year that we're seeing. Like, you might have noticed that Southern Ontario, well, you guys wouldn't know it unless you're in Southern Ontario. We now have possums in Toronto. That didn't happen 20 years ago.
They were sort of down south of Hamilton.
Yeah. You'd find a few in Windsor, here and there. You might hear about them. Now you're finding them like north of, like, up in Mount Forest and north of Toronto, Newmarket. Possums didn't come up this far because it was too cold for them, and now here they are. I mean, there's other reasons for that. Just the way they're they can move up and down highways and stuff, and etc. But we're that's just an example of that. We're seeing when I was in Greenland, we were sailing up the Sonderfjord on our way to Kangerlussuaq. Try learning how to say all those names real quick. Kangerlussuaq, Tarsuaq, like, it was great. It was great fun because I had to do all this. And we could see you could actually see where what they call the terminal moraine, which is essentially, it was just a big dirt or actually gravel pile, sort of like a big arc out in the fjord itself, where the actual edge of the glacier had sort of extended out to. And now the sort of glacier was like buried way back up in its valley. And I was talking to one of the Inuit guides who were on board with us, and they're like, yeah, that was there 30 years ago. He's like, that edge of that glacier was there 30 years ago. Like, hasn't been that long since the glaciers melted back that fast. And the issue that I have with the whole thing is that it's not about saving the planet. The planet's gonna be around after we're gone. Like, it's like, it has no issues with us. I mean, it's gone through a hell of a lot worse. My thing is that it's about saving ourselves, and the amount of political pushback you get from it is so frustrating, because like, I like eating every 3 times a day. It's sometimes try to do it more than that, especially when you got nothing to do with COVID. But that's the real issue. It's not even like saving all the animals and everything else. It's really saving ourselves and saving our civilization, because I kind of like indoor plumbing and all that sort of stuff, and not fighting the mutant gangs for gasoline on the wastelands. So like that's the whole thing that that comes down to climate change for me, and that's kind of what my book's about too. Is being on the front lines of climate change.